Welcome to Haberdashery, everyone. Today, we're going to be showing you how to make these amazing LED candles that we use for Harry Potter decor for Halloween. We're going to need the body of the candles, and what we're using here is 2-inch PVC pipes. We got that based on the candles that we had purchased on Amazon, these LED candles that are rechargeable and flameless. And what Matthew is doing right now is we took a 10-foot section and we were actually able to cut those up into 12 10-inch sections for the candles. So he's marking them right now and they're going to be ready to cut with our saw. So let's go to the garage and get some of these pieces cut. We have our 10-inch PVC pieces cut. We want a more realistic look for the candles, so we're taking this spiral bit on our Dremel and we're going to go ahead and shape the tops a little bit more so it has more of a natural candle-like look. When we were shaping our candles, we just did some nice uneven rounded grooves, which made it look really nice. And when you actually decorate it, you'll see how cool it's going to look. Here are our finished pieces. What we're going to do now is clean it up with some sandpaper, 150 grit, and some mineral spirits. Are our prepped pieces sanded and cleaned, ready to go. So we're gonna get ready to start decorating these candles. I went ahead and just sanded and primed them. We're using chalk paint. You really don't have to, but I just really wanted to have a really good finish on that. And about our tools, we have here our glue gun and just some glue sticks from Joann's. So we're going to go ahead and start with that. And I really started off with a candle that we've already done. So this is what the candle looks like inside. Pretty much the candles, these were so big and they're made to fit right inside there. So I started and I just had this one, and you want to just start like that. Basically you want to have, this is what the candle is going to look like, and it's going to look a lot more cool and real when we actually paint it. So let me go ahead and get started on that. We're going to start gluing the portion of the candle that's going to look like the melted top half of the candles. And what we're going to do is we're going to start at the very rim. This is because the candles, the LED rechargeable flameless candles we purchased from Amazon, are specifically fitted for the size of this PVC piping. It's going to be a tight fit, so you just want to make sure that you don't go anywhere inside of the tube. And so it's just a little easier to start off at the rim and then work your way on the outside. So right now we're just going to do the larger
portion of the melted wax, and then afterwards we're going to show you just a little bit on how to kind of create the drips as well that should be dripping down the candle to make it look more like it's an actual dripping candle.
So I went ahead and painted one of the candles just for an example. Wanted to try a chalk paint to see it do very well. Normally I do acrylic because it has a shiny sheen. I kind of wanted to do something that had a little bit more texture. Maybe might look a little more vintage. And so literally this is just our first layer right here. I am using our new Dixie Belle drop cloth paint, which is a little bit more of an antique white, which I really like. And it's not too bad. I thought it might be a little bit too matted, but you know, I think if I put a little wax on top of this, it should have some sheen. So I went ahead and finished a few more of these, and we're gonna go ahead and paint some of these. And one of the things I like, just on the first layer alone, looks like that label that was there just came off. So that's how much coverage that the Dixie paints have, which is one of the reasons I really like it a lot. I mean, the first coat I put on pretty thin because I don't want to lose those details. See the really cool details on the candle? I don't want to lose those. So my first coat, usually it goes on pretty thin, but you can kind of see the difference right there. This really pretty white going over that. And I'm kind of glad I did sand it, just because, sand it and prime, just because of the texture and the fact that it's the glue and everything else, and the paint seems to be holding pretty well. And so for this project, I'm going to be using 2 brushes. I'm just going to be using a regular chip brush for the larger pieces, and then I also have a smaller brush for the smaller details up on top, because I just noticed that the chip brush didn't quite get the little corners and grooves of the candle. So we're going to go ahead and paint the rest of these and see how it looks. One of the things I did want to make note, because I did notice this, is sometimes the glue doesn't necessarily melt too even when I put it on the glue gun. If you want it to have more of a natural melty feel, I would just go ahead and maybe take a flame. Oh, please be careful when you do this. Or a torch, and just lightly graze over the glue. It should melt a little bit, and it'll come out a little bit more smoother, so that you're not going to have, I just noticed right here that there's a little bit of grooves and bumps on there, and if I had melted that down with this, this little, it's just a regular candle lighter. If I had melted down out of that, it probably would have come out a little smooth. Doesn't look too bad, but I kind of wanted more of a smooth look. So I'm probably going to do that to the rest of these candles.
Really happy to find these longer pieces of glue in my supplies. I don't have to change off as often. They come in rope too, which I need. Here is our candles that are fully painted with their first coat. It looks really good right now. And I put in one of the candles just to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like.
So we probably could just go ahead and leave them like this. I mean, these are perfectly okay to just go ahead and use for decoration. But I'm going to go a step further. I do want to antique it a little bit. So I'm going to use Besting wax. And I'm going to give it more of an antique look like those other candles that we had. And basically what you do is you just put a little bit of this in some of the areas that you want shaded or looks a little bit distressed, and then maybe I might go over it with some white paint as well. But let's go ahead and do the wax first. So I am gonna use first the clear wax, and then I'm gonna go over it with the Besting wax afterwards, because I did notice that it was a little drier than I wanted to. So I just took a little bit on the brush here, and I'm gonna put it on the piece like this. This should make it move a little bit more smoothly. Plus it's wax, so I mean, the candle's made of wax. That just makes sense, doesn't it? And this should protect it a little bit from some of the elements, since I am going to be putting this outdoors. So that's the white wax. You might want to buff it a little bit. No, it doesn't. And then when you use the dark wax over it, it should be go on a little smoother, because the first time I did it, it didn't go on that smooth. So here I went ahead and just added some shadow and definition here onto the candles. If it seems a little dark, it's okay. I'm actually going to go in with a lighter white color and finish it off with just some white streaks, so that it'll have more of a vintage look, but I'm really liking how this is turning out. The shadow's really cool looking. And we're gonna go ahead and put in the rechargeable candles right after, and hopefully it's gonna look really good.
So we just have to wait maybe about 15 to 20 minutes for the wax to dry on the candles, so it's no longer tacky, and we can work on it a little more. So what we're going to do now is that we kind of want to light up the candle a little bit. I mean, the dark corners are really cool, but I did want to use a white fluff and kind of go over it with a dry brush, so that it can just have more of a realistic look, and it definitely brings out the shadows. I already did this one piece right here. It looks a little different from the shaded version. As you can see, it is a little bit lightened up, but I still managed to keep some of the shadow in the candle, and so it's looking really good, and we'll go ahead and show you how to do that.
Okay, now that we're done with the candles, we have these rechargeable lights, candles that we found. I wanted them to be solar so that they could charge during the day while they were outdoors and then light up at night. And that's exactly what these are. They're solar LED rechargeable flameless lights that I got from Amazon. And they fit exactly in these tubes. And we'll go ahead and put them in. And I'm also going to be drilling some holes in here, so we'll go ahead and show you that as well, because we did want to have floating candles for our Harry Potter scene, so that's what we're going to do with these. So I did want these to be floating candles for our Diagon Alley look, or the Great Hall look. So what we did, if you can see that, is we did drill two small holes at the very top. You can see it right there, the very top, and we put some string in it, so it should be able to hang on a support system. So what we're going to do is I am going to drill some holes using this, and we're also going to put some fishing wire in between there.
So this is our finished product, everyone. We're loving it. We strung it up on some fishing lines and used some bath hooks to hang it on a rod. When the lights turn off, you guys, that's when the magic happens. Let us know what you think about this project. We really enjoyed doing this one. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed our videos, and we'll definitely have some more amazing content.